Welcome to .NETAwesome.com. Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Okay, in last few articles we have seen many examples using AngularJS, but till now we have not created any complete application. Today I will show you how to create a very simple application using AngularJS in ASP.NET MVC. Here in this part, we will try to make our application as simple as possible, and later we will enhance this application part by part for make the application easy to understand. Okay, let's start. First of all, we have to create an application. Here I am using Visual Studio 2013. So go to the file, create project. Here select ASP.NET Web Application under Web. Enter your application name. Here my application name is Angular Crude. And then select your project location and click on OK button. It will open a new dialog window from where we will select the template. Here I am selecting MVC as I want to use the default template for the application, and then click on OK button. Now it's creating. Yes, our application is created. Now I will add a database in our application. As this is a tutorial project, I am adding database here. Just go to the Solution Explorer, right click on app data, then add new item. From here I will select SQL Server database under data. Enter your database name. And click on add button. Our database is created. Our application is a contact book application where we will perform CRUD operation for manage our contact information in our database. So we have to add a table in our database. For this, go to Solution Explorer and double click on your database under app data. For open the database, just right click on tables, add new table. Here I will create a table for save our contact information. So contact ID integer, contact name and worker 100, contact number, not null, email ID, allow null, address, and worker 200, allow null. You can see in the table I have added all the fields for save text information in worker. For make our application simple as its first part. Later we will add more different type of fields. For those we have to use drop down, file upload control, etc. in the UI. Now just one thing I have missing here. I need to make this field identity field. Yes. Then click on update button for generate this table. Update database. Yes, our table is ready. Now we will add an entity data model. Go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your project name, go to add, new item. Here select ADO.NET data entity data model. Under data, enter your data model name, and then click on add button. Here a dialog window will come up. Entity data model wizard, generate from database, click on next button. Here I will select my database. You can see here the connection string, it will save in web.config file. Click on next button. Checked tables, then click on finish button. Our data model is generating. Yes, it's done. Our entity data model is added in our project. Now we will add MVC controller. So go to the Solution Explorer, open controllers folder. Oh, it's already added too. We don't need already created controller, so I'm going to delete first. Right click, delete. Okay, I also delete this too. Okay, for create new controller, just go to your Solution Explorer, right click on controllers, add controller. Here I will select MVC 5 controller empty and click on add button. Here I need to enter our controller name, home controller, and click on add button. Yes, our controller is ready. We don't need this. Okay, so here controller added. Now I will add an action. Here I'm going to add an action with name index, return view. Okay, our action is added. Now I will add a view for that action. So right click on the view, add view. Here view name, we don't need any model here, and checked use a layout page and click on add button. Yes, our view is created. We don't need any design here right now. Here in the home controller we will add 4 more action for CRUD operation. In the first action we will fetch contact list from database. Okay, let's create our first action for fetch data from database. Public. Here I will return JSON result, get contacts. Here from this section we will fetch contact list from our database and return as a JSON result. List contact list. Should be here. Will allow get using, sorry, this will be the contact list. My database entities, here my database entities is our data context. Dot context dot okay, we have done our first action from where we will fetch data from database and return as JSON result. Here we will fetch our contact list. So now we will add our second action for fetch single contact information by ID, which is required for edit. Public JSON result get contact and ID. Contact ID. Now return JSON result. Contact get. Yes, this also done. Now we will add another action for save contact to our database. Save contact. This action should be HTTP post action. So I'm decorating this action with HTTP post. Public JSON result here I will declare two variable, status false for know the status, string message. From this section I'm going to return two value, status and message. Here I will check the model validity. Dot is valid for this is for check the model state. If it is valid, then we will save to our database. If contact ID is greater than 0, that means this is the update this is for update, and otherwise create. So for update, and for create, dc.contacts.add contact is done, and finally dc.save changes. If everything is okay, then the status is true. This controller also done. This is done. Now we will write our last one for delete. Here we will write another action for delete contact from database, and this should also be HTTP post action. So I am decorating this action with HTTP post attribute. Public JSON result delete contact int contact ID. Message equal to x dot message. Here I'm going to write code for delete contact information from our database. contact ID, first default. If this contact exists, and finally dish.save changes, where our status will be true. Now our home controller is completely ready. You can see here we have added total 5 action, one for return the view, second for fetch contact list from database, third one is fetch contact information by ID for edit mode, third one and fourth one is for save contact to our database, and fifth one is for delete contact from our database. So our backend is almost ready. Now we have to make ready our front end, where we will use AngularJS. So now we have to include AngularJS in our application first, and we can do this using NuGet packages. So go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your project name, manage NuGet packages, just search for AngularJS. Yes, we will install AngularJS core, so select AngularJS core and click on install button. It's done. And this is also required for routing, means if we want to make our application as a single page application, then this is also required, the AngularJS route. So select this one and click on install button. We don't need anything else for now. Okay, and then click on close button. So let's check it's already added or not. Yeah, the AngularJS root, AngularJS library is added here. Okay, now I will add a folder inside scripts folder, where we will keep our AngularJS component like AngularJS controller, services, template, etc. So just go to your Solution Explorer and select your script, right click on the scripts folder, add, then new folder, and then I will rename this folder as ng components. Yes, inside this folder we will add 4 more folders. First of all, I'm going to add another folder inside this ng component. Here in this folder we will add JavaScript file for configuration our AngularJS application. I renamed it as ngconfigs. ngconfig. Okay, here we will add files which we will use for configure our AngularJS application. And then I'm going to add another folder, ng controllers. Here we will add Angular controllers. Another folder I'm going to add, ng services. Here we will keep our services file, and another folder I will add for ng templates. Okay, so my folder structure is like that. Inside a script folder I have another folder, ng components, and inside this we have ng configs, ng controller, ng services, and ng template. Now I will add a JavaScript file in the ngconfigs folder. Here we will write our application configuration code. So go to your Solution Explorer, then scripts, ng components, and select ngconfigs. Right click on that folder, add new item. Now select javascript file under scripts and enter your file name, and then click on add button. The file is added here. Now we will write code for configure our application. So first of all, we need to create a Angular module for app is equal to angular dot module. This is our module name, my contact book, and then I will include ng root. This is required for client-side routing, and this will use for make our application as a SP application, means single page application. Here I will write AngularJS routing code first. So dot config I need to include root provider, location provider, TP provider. First of all, I will start routing code. For routing we have to use root provider. So provider when our root will match this one, home, then AngularJS will load the following template URL and controller. Template URL controller. So this is home controller for home page. Till now we have not created any template URL, so I will provide this one after created the templates file. This is done for home page. Suppose we have another page, save contact. Save contact controller. Same case here, we have not defined any template right now, so I will add this after add templates file. You can see here I have added :id. This means we will pass the query string here. The 2 is 2. I will add one another when if there is no path after the hashtag, so it will I will redirect it to the home page. So redirect to turn to home. This is done. Now actually we will add one another. If there is any error occurred, so I will redirect to error page. Till now we have not added any template, and also we need to create controllers. Those controllers: home controller, save contact controller, error controller. This is done. Just one thing we need to do here: location provider dot html5 more. I'll make it false for now. Our routing code is ready. Now I will configure HTTP post method. Here HTTP provider to change the default behavior of the HTTP service. Here in this line I have set the content type to application/JSON for all the HTTP post request. Here I will do one more thing, which is error handling. For error handling, I'm going to use here HTTP provider interceptors. So handling HTTP provider dot interceptors. Here I will add location provider. Here I will add location. I inject location here for our change the route when there is any error occurred. Here I will write for response error. Already redirect to error page. AngularJS HTTP inspectors is something like ASP.NET MVC filter, which is used for execute some logic before or after the actual work. In Angular, it is used for add some logic before and after the HTTP call. So I am going to use AngularJS features for HTTP response error handling. Our configuration file is ready. Now we will add an Angular factory. Here factory is one type of service, so I will add here in a ng services. The factory is nothing but a JavaScript file where we will write JavaScript function for use HTTP services for call our MVC actions. So here I will add a Angular factory first. So right click on your ng services folder, then add new item. Here I will select JavaScript under scripts and enter your service name here, contact service.js, and click on add button. Service file is created. Now we will create a Angular factory. In AngularJS, factory is one type of service. Using factory, we can create a singleton object that can share across the application. So here I'm creating a service Angular dot module, here our module name should be this one, my contact book. P dot factory, enter the factory. Our factory name is contact service. Here I will inject HTTP service and the queue function, inject HTTP and queue. Okay. Here we will write some JavaScript function for use HTTP services for call our MVC actions. Here I am going to add a JavaScript function for page contact list. Get contacts function. So first of all I will create a defer object. Here I am going to use HTTP get method, and inside this method we have to write our action URL, get contacts, and after success we will add we will resolve the defer with our return data. For dot resolve return defer dot promises. This method is ready. Now I will add another method for get contact by ID. Get contact where I need contact ID. Same way we can fetch contact. So here I'm adding this one. One thing I need to add here, I have to pass the contact ID parameter. So for pass parameter we have to use params. So here I need to pass contact ID. Let's check the parameter name here. This is the method and our parameter name is contact ID. So contact ID and the value is this contact ID. This method is also done. Now I will add another method for save contact function, and I have to pass a contact object here. And using this method we will actually add a new resource on the server. As we have decorated the MVC action for save contact with HTTP post attribute, here we have to use HTTP service with post method. So our method name should be post, then URL home controller save contact action, then I need to pass our contact object, and if response then I will resolve with this resolve with response or data object. So this is also done, and the last one I will add another method for delete contact from our database. Delete contact function. Here I need to pass the contact ID parameter. Here also from this method we are actually modify our server resources, so we should use the HTTP post method. That's why I'm going to use the HTTP post method also from here. HTTP method should be post URL home, then delete contact. And data we have to pass contact ID. then functions response before dot resolve with response dot data. Our factory is ready. Now we will create our Angular controllers. Here we need to create 3 controllers, so let's start doing one by one. First of all, I will create home controller, so we need to add a JavaScript file here in this folder, ngcontrollers. Go to your solution explorer, right click on ngcontrollers folder we have created before, then go to add new item. From here I will select JavaScript file under scripts. Here enter the name file home controller.js and click on add button. The JavaScript file is created. Here I will add code for create Angular controller. So first of all I have to use our Angular module for get the object. Here I have to pass our application name, module name, the Angular, my contact book, yes, and then get controllers. Here our controller name should be home controller. Here I have to inject scope, and I will inject, we have just created the service. Here contact service, because here I will use this contact service for fetch contact information from our database and will show in our UI. First of all I will create an object contacts, then I will write a function for populate contact informations. Contacts contact service dot, I will use this method from contact service, get contacts, the function is ready. Now I will call this function for populate contact information in our template page. Here I will add one more method for delete contact. Before delete I want to confirm whether user is he really wants to delete, so Are you sure? If we confirm, then I will call the delete function from the service for delete contact information from our database. Here is our delete method, so I'll call it from here. I need to pass contact ID and function data. If data successfully deleted, then I'll repopulate the contact list. Yes, it's done. This is our delete contact method, and this is a function for page contact information from our database. Our home controller is ready. Now we will add another controller here. So follow the same process, just go to your controller ng controllers folder, right click on this folder, add new item, select javascript file under scripts, enter the name, here I have renamed it as save contact controller.js, and then click on add button. Yes, the file is created. Now here we will write code for save contact controller. So I'm going to add a new controller here. Your controller name should be shape contact controller, as we have specified this name in a routing. So this one, then I will inject some services. We have to inject scope, root params. This is required for get the query string value. We will include location as well, and we need this our contact service. Scope, root params, location, and our contact service. Here I will declare two variable first. Scope dot is form submitted. This is for check if the form is submitted or not by the user. And another variable I will declare here is form valid, for check the form is valid or not. Scope dot contact empty object for the contact, as we will use this controller both for add new contact or edit existing one. So we need to first check, is it for edit mode or add mode. We have to first populate data if it is edit mode. If the ID is greater than 0, that means it's edit mode, otherwise it is add mode, add new. So in the edit mode we have to first get the contact information from database. So we have to use the contact service dot get contact method. Before submit the form to the server, we have to check the form is valid or not. So here I will check is the form is valid or not. Here I have used watch method for check the form is valid or not. So here I need to pass our form name, contact form, and then valid. This property I need to check. Is form valid? I will set the updated value from here, so we can understand the form is valid or not. And here I will write code for submit the form to the server. So I'm going to add another method in this controller for submit form to the server. Form submitted true. This method call means is form submitted equals to true. I will submit the form only if when the form is valid. Scope dot is form valid. If the form is valid, then I will call the save contact method for save contact to our database. So I'm going to use contact service dot save contact, and I have to pass a contact object here. So here is our contact object, scope dot contact. If successfully inserted data into our database, then I will show a alert contact saved. It's successfully and I will redirect the user to our listing page. Our shape contact controller is done. So now we will create another controller, which is for error controller. I have defined in the root. So just go to your solution explorer, right click on ngcontrollers folder, then add and new item. So here I will select JavaScript file under scripts, enter your file name, and then click on add button. Yes, the file is created. Now we will write code for create our error controller. Angular.module. Here I need to write our module name, my contact book, controller, error controller, scope, the error controller is ready. Here we will enhance our error controller later when we will implement our error logs in our database. So we will enhance this controller in the later part. For now I have just added a simple variable here for showing error message in the error page. Okay, so this is done. Now we need to just add some templates we have defined in our ng root. First of all, I will add a template for design our home page where we will show our contact list from our database. So go to your solution explorer, right click on ng templates folder for add new templates, go to add. Here I will add a new item. Here I will select HTML page under markup and enter your template name. Here it is home.html and click on add button. So as it is our ng template, so I don't need this all things. I will delete this one and create in our way. Here I will show the text contact list, and then I will add a table here for show contact list from our database in our page. Table, class table responsive page contact name contact number I'll show email and then address, and I will add two more, one for edit button and another one for delete button. I'll use ngrepeat. This should be contacts. You can see here I have used ngrepeat directive, which is repeats an HTML element. This directive is one of the most commonly used and serve to define your template scope when looping through collections. So here I will add a td ngbind ngbind is used for bind a value. Here in this column I will show contact name. In the same way I will add another contact number, then I will show dot email id, and then I will add column for show contact address. Save contact dot contact id edit. You can see here I have added a link for edit, and I will add another link for delete contact. Click and delete. I will call delete function, and I need to pass the contact ID, so contact dot contact ID. So our template is ready for home page, where we will show the contact list from database. Okay, it's done. Then I will add one more template here for save contact. Add, just right click on your ng templates folder from Solution Explorer, then click on add and then new item. I will select HTML page under markup. So here enter your template file name, save contact.html, click on add button, Same way we will delete this already generated HTML tags, as this is our ng templates. So follow the code for create save contact form. Then form now validate. You can see here I have added no validate attribute in the form for disable HTML5 validation, and in the ng submit I have added a submit method. This submit method is for this submit method from save contact controller. Here I have added a input field for save contact name with ng model dot contact name. This ng model is another directive for bind our controller value with this input field. Here I will add a class dynamically based on form submitted status. So I will get this one from is form submitted. If the form is submitted, then I will assign a class ng dirty, otherwise it will be blank. Also I will add a required here attribute here for make this field as a required field. So this is done, and also I will add another class as a form control class. Now we will write code for show validation message. Here SPS I will add a span class error. I will add another directive here ng show. It will show this span based on value I will provide here. This span will show when the contact form dot contact name, if this field is dirt, and this span will be visible when this condition will be true, means when the contact name is dirty or the form is submitted and this field has required field error. Field is that time this span will be visible. Same way we will add our another fields. Here I'm going to add one another for contact number. If our contact number is dirty or the form is submitted or contact number contain the error required field error, so our contact number is required. So this is done. Same way I will add one more control here for save email ID. So this should be email ID, email ID, email ID, email ID, and the type will be email, but this is not required, so I will change this one with type email. If it is not valid email address, then this will be visible, invalid email. I need to change this one also. The name will be email ID, email ID, and for the last one for address I will add this things address. We don't need all those. I will just add a text area here. This is also done. Now we just need a submit button here. Input type equal to submit. This form is done. Now we just need to one more ng template here for error page. Go to your solution explorer, right click on ng templates folder, then go to the add and click on add new item. Here I will select HTML page under markup and enter your template name here. In my case it is error.html. Then click on add button and error. Here I will show error message from error controller. This is also done. So we have created 3 templates file here, one for save contact, one our home page where we will show our contact list from our database, and one is for showing error message. Now we have to include all the JS file we have created in our layout page, and also we need to edit our layout page a little. Write ng app directive here for bootstrap our Angular application. Here I need to pass the module name, this is done. Now I will add some link here for switch from one view to another view. Home, save contact, you can see here I have added two links, one for home page and one for save contact page. So actually here I need to pass a query string. Here I will pass 0 because if anyone click on this link it will open the form add mode. And here we need to include an ng view. You can see here I have added an ng view directive here. It simply creates a placeholder where a corresponding view can be placed based on the configuration. So when we will be in the home page, here inside the ng view it will render the home template will be placed here. Now we have to include all the JS and required libraries here. So I'm going to first of all add angular.js library, then I will include angular.root, angular-root.js, and then I need to include main.js where we have written our configuration, and then all the controllers, home controller, save controller, error controller, and then our factory. It's all the required JS files I have added here. Now we will add this template URL in our configuration file. So we need to add here the template URL. So this should be scripts, then ng components, then ng templates, then home.html. And for save contact path it should be save contact.html. And for the error page it should be error.html. This file is ready. Our application is completely ready. Now we will run our application to check is everything working fine or not. So here I'm going to run our application. Build succeeded. Yes, you can see here automatically it's redirect to home page, and this list is empty right now because we have not added any contact. So for add new contact, click here, add. So here I'm just going to add one record. You can see here if I make this empty, so it will show the contact name record, means validation is working fine. So I will click now on the save button. Yes, contact saved successfully. When I will click, it automatically redirect to our home page, and you can see here the new contact added and showing in the list. You can add Ronak. So here we can see two contact is created. Then I will saved. Now I will delete this one. So it's deleted. That means everything is working as expected. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.